So one of our components in ENIGMA is education and outreach. We're very lucky to have a very strong education and outreach program here in the Marine Sciences program at Rutgers. And we've taken advantage of the long experience that Janice McDonnell has in this subject. And she's going to give a talk about what you've been doing for ENIGMA.
Thank you to the science team for allowing me to be part of your ENIGMA project. It's been a joy and a pleasure to work on this project with you. So exciting, very exciting work, especially for the populations that I work with. For those of you that aren't familiar, I'll just give you a brief summary of what I do. But I'm the science agent in the Department of Youth Development here at Rutgers. I work with a team. I'm the chief science nerd for the department. We're part of Cooperative Extension. There's 30 of us throughout the state that work with young people, both in school and out of school. So you'll notice the work that we've done with ENIGMA is very school focused. Thank you very much. And I just want to, standing between you and lunch, I just want to give you a very brief update on kind of what we've done, where we've been with this project, and what we still hope to accomplish. I also want to just acknowledge my colleagues, Alessia Vega, who works with me. Has done a lot of this work with us. She's our communications coordinator for our little education group, and also Josh Kurz from Tilapia Films, who helped us make our beautiful video, which you see screenshot here, Nathan as an astronaut. One of our main goals, and I was lucky enough to be part of the proposal writing process, and one of the main goals we discussed with the science team, with Paul and Nathan in particular, was that if we look around this room right now, we're not a very diverse crowd, right, that are studying this topic. So what I spend a lot of my time doing is trying to inspire the next generation of diverse students and giving them exciting learning experiences that allow them to want to pursue careers such as what you all are doing. That's one of my main goals in life, is to do that. And we just heard this amazingly science communicated talk, very, very nicely done. And what I notice is that, kids learn things in stovepipes, right? They learn about geology, they learn about biology, everything's sort of separate. And then you hear a talk like we just heard, and you really inspires your sort of imagination for how things work on the planet, right? So that's what we try to do with our kids. And everything we do, we focus on diversity and inclusion. We try to be really mindful whenever we develop something, who we're designing it for, what assumptions we're making about them, who can we bring into this work, and how can they benefit from it, and what relevance does it hold for them? This is a picture of 3 young folks that we were working with at McKinley Avenue School. Our own Vic Nanda came out with us and did some programming with these young people and had them collecting microbes out in their courtyard area of the school. And you can see the joy on their faces of how much fun they had working with Vic. They also really care about, this program happened to run for 8 weeks, after school program. And you can notice Ken McGinnis in the back there and Saroj. The kids really really viewed them as mentors over time. That's another one of our goals. It's not just about communicating the science and getting them excited about the science. It's about seeing all of you as role models and as mentors. And Ken and Saroj certainly did that. You'll also see to the left on the screen there is one of my colleagues, Casey Walsh. She happened to be in Antarctica at the time. So we took the opportunity to talk about life in extremes, both with the work that Ken and Saroj were doing and comparing that to a very extreme environment in Antarctica and thinking about life on different levels. So this is our group from New Brunswick Charter School. So what have we accomplished? Let me just give you a brief thumbnail sketch of what we've done. We started our work in 2019. We did a series of family science nights that were very well received in these 2 local schools, McKinley Avenue and Greater New Brunswick Charter School. Both have very diverse populations, very underserved, under-resourced, and like I like to say, under-tapped. They have a lot of energy and excitement for science. And when we bring things to them, they really respond in a very positive way. So 2 of these events, roughly 500 kids, parents, teachers. We had kids from the local high school come and translate. We had a lot of Spanish speakers, so we had translators there. We had our geology museum and several other physics department come and support us. We ended up with a number of stations kind of set up around the school where kids could come and learn about life on other planets was kind of the tagline that we talked about. We've also done more recently, due to the pandemic, an Ask a Scientist program, all online. We had about 100 kids participate in that with their parents from 5 different states. That was a very successful event, very well received, where the kids were able to bring their own questions about life on other planets. And your ENIGMA team here and some of our scientists here from Rutgers really did a beautiful job answering their questions and helping them to learn in a very, sort of kid-driven way. And then, of course, as I've already mentioned, we've done these after-school clubs a number of years over the 2019, 2020 until the pandemic started for roughly 60 kids in the same 2 schools. And those were, I'll talk a little bit more about those, but those were really exciting. I wanted to just show you a couple of images of our team talking to the kids, working with them. You can see it was standing room only, very well received. We also got great press coverage on this. Several local New Jersey stations picked up the event and did some really nice news stories about it, reaching lots of folks. I also want to give a shout out, I don't know if Shauna's online, but Shauna has done an amazing job kind of working on this 4-H. Oh, there she is. Hi, Shauna. Working on this national 4-H program called Mars Base Camp. It's an annual event that 4-H does called the STEM Challenge. And Shauna worked with one of her teacher colleagues and her mom, who happens to be a 4-H agent as well. And they developed this beautiful Mars-focused kit. So we were able to leverage off of that kit that went out nationwide and to really talk about ENIGMA in that context. And that program impacts a lot of kids, roughly 30,000 kids is what I'm told, across the country, mostly in the middle of the country. We implemented it here locally in New Jersey with just a little over 1,000 kids, using our video, using a lot of ENIGMA resources that we built with Vic and Ken, and really was successful. These are this was a group that was building, part of the Mars Base Camp was to build a little rover. So we had our kids building the rover and then talking about life on other planets. This is Ken here on the right. He got really into this work and is currently was accepted as a freshman here at Rutgers as an engineering student. So I like to make those connections for kids and get them excited about what their futures could hold. This is my favorite program that ENIGMA has been participating in. It's called our STEM Ambassadors program. We have been working with roughly 60 rising 9th graders from major urban centers around New Jersey. You see the stars there. Whoops. You see the stars there, locating the cities where we pull kids from. This program has been funded by a variety of different sources over the years. We've been doing it since 2009. But since 2019, we've been involving ENIGMA as a core part of the program. And Vic has been great about working with our young people on a full day kind of lab experience, talking about ENIGMA science, along with Alesha. The 2 of them work together to pull that off for the kids. And they respond really, really well. In the center of the screen there is Kayla. She is a junior. She is going to come back this year and is really going to be pursuing our work with ENIGMA and helping her peers learn about it as a second timer, a returner, we call her. So we've got some exciting kind of mentorship opportunities coming where we're trying to capture the kids and get them trained in this work over the long term. The bottom of the screen is during the pandemic, we had a lot of our STEM ambassadors working with not only their siblings, but kids younger than them in their communities, doing a lot of online work. So a lot of shifting over time from because of the pandemic to online work. But thankfully this summer we'll be back in person and working with the kids directly. We did do some professional development for educators. A number of us got together and tried to offer a astrobiology in the classroom program back in May. But this was sort of the height of pandemic fatigue. And we had a very low turnout for this, but we really did try to engage the teachers with sharing our video and also our discussion guide that we put together for the video. We will try again. Right now, it's just a very difficult time in schools. They're really struggling, lots of learning loss, lots of behavior problems, lots of lack of resources is really making things like this really low on the priority list for schools in their current form. But we haven't given up. We just need to wait until things settle down a bit more. And of course, if you haven't seen our video yet, as I just mentioned, we do have a beautiful 8-minute video that was put together by Tilapia Films. Right now, we're currently at a little over 4,000 views. We have a long ways to go to really share it more broadly and get it the attention it deserves. We're working with Rutgers social media gurus here on the larger campus to try to get more engaged in it. Some of our roadblocks have been that NASA itself is not really engaging with us and putting it on their website and helping us out with making it more broadly available. We're working on it. It's still a work in progress, but it is a beautiful piece. If you haven't watched it yet, I encourage you to look at it. It's part of a series called The Tools of Science. And this is a case study approach that really captures the science of ENIGMA, I think, pretty well. In addition to our video discussion guide that goes with it, that helps not only school teachers, but also informal museum educators to use the video in process. Okay, so where are we going from here? We are just been engaging in a library program this summer. The reading theme happens to be Oceans of Possibilities. So we've been engaging with lots of libraries across the state, trying to prepare ocean science programs for them. We're using that as a bridge to try to bring in other topic areas and build relationships with libraries and be able to use the video and the hands-on activities that we've developed and share them with libraries. So that's going really well. I think that's going to be a nice way for us to get the video out there more productively. We're publishing the after school guide. We're currently working with an informal journal called Connected Science Learning, trying to get our after school guide published with them so that it can be more broadly available. And then we're, as I already mentioned, working on the social media, trying to make some planetarium connections to the video, so to see if it could be worked on through that channel. And then finally, you know, Vic and I are working on the STEM ambassadors along with Alessia for this year to continue to work on that diversity piece. So that's really what I had for you today in terms of our updates. If you have any questions or if anyone would like to participate more in our education efforts, I would be more than happy to involve you in whatever way it works for you. Again, I just want to thank this science team for involving me, and it's really been a pleasure to work on this science and to learn from all of you. And on behalf of the kids that I work with, they thank you as well for engaging them. So thank you very much.